What is good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here today, and today we're gonna be making a beat for Baby Keem, specifically something that you might hear off of his new album. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. If you could do me a really quick favor and just leave a thumbs up on this video, you can always take it away if you end up not liking this video, but I would appreciate that. And in terms of sounds that we're gonna be using today, we're gonna just be using some drum sounds from primarily the Only drum kits, as well as maybe like a bass line or something from the 8-bit drum kit as well. So link in the description if you guys want to get the free versions of that, or if you want to get the special deal where you just bundle them together and you get a pretty good chunk off. So definitely check that out. But yeah, let's get into it. Now the first instrument I'm going to use is this Mellotron sound. I just got the new Arturia Collective or whatever, and it's super worth it if you're thinking about it. Alright, so here is what I came up with. It's just this really basic pattern. Like if you look here, it's the exact same 4 chords playing throughout. And then there's like these little drops right here and a slight change at the end of every 4 bars. But let me just show you what it sounds like. This is super repetitive. All I'm going to be doing in terms of effects, I was able to just play directly in this VST to kind of do the effects that I wanted to, and all I'm going to do is cut out the low end for this. Alright, so next sound I have is just this wobbly tape, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of layer the other sound we were just using. Yeah, that's nice. See, that's like adding like a little bit of rhythm to the loop by just doing that. All I'm doing is layering it, but I'm kind of delaying these part of the chords. I think I'm going to raise it up an octave. And for this sound, all I'm going to do is just cut out the low ends again. Now I just want to add another sound on top of this. Because what I'm going to do to keep it from being repetitive is, one, I'll probably like chop up this, like create like a sample and chop this up. And then the other thing that you can do is just take out like certain instruments in order to just keep it being super repetitive, as this beat is, you know, it is repetitive. Got this sound, Girl in Africa. I added some Valhalla vintage verb. That's the only effect I used, just because I wanted it to be a little bit more spacey, and then I just cut out the low ends like I did for all the other sounds, because you don't want your bass or your 808s clashing with these lower sounds. Now here are the actual notes that I ended up putting in, and let me just give you guys like, I guess, the logic behind what I ended up doing. And one thing I found with counter melodies is if you start like some of your notes on the same notes that are maybe in a chord or something like that, it'll typically sound pretty good once you kind of go off of that and change up the notes. So that's what I did here, and I almost used this to add some like additional rhythm. If you can see, it's like super repetitive and it goes off on certain points. And then the last thing, if you look at these last 4 bars and I pull it back up where it was originally, I wanted the last note to kind of go on the same note as this other little counter melody in the first instrument, just because it sounds a little bit more resolved that way. But here's how it sounds all together. Now I'm gonna put it in Fruity Slicer and we're gonna chop it up. So let's do that real quick. Alright, so all you're gonna do right here is you got all your instruments right there, right? Then you're just gonna go here to your pattern, then go Control Alt C. This is just the quickest way to do it. And just make sure that it's set to cut remainder. Then click Start. Then all you're gonna do is minimize this right here. Add Fruity Slicer. Go here. And then just drag this in. Then just go here to beat. That way it'll cut right on the beats, and then you just want to turn the attack up a little bit, and I usually turn the decay up as well, and that just keeps it from having like a popping sound. And you can just go in and just chop it up. So I'm going to just chop it up really quickly, and I'll tell you guys what I did. Alright, so here's what I ended up coming up with, and what I'll probably do when I arrange this, as I want to keep it interesting and whatnot, is I'll switch between the main like loop that you heard right there, and then maybe on the chorus I'll flip to this, or in the verse or something like that. But yeah, real rap in this bitch. Real rap in this bitch. Alright, now let's just add some drums to this. Ooh, yeah, that's so much bounce. Perfect. Yeah. So last thing that I ended up doing is I just pulled in a bass from my 8-bit pack and copied over the 808 pattern, but just took out a bunch of the notes on the later half. And I think this will be like an intro or like breakdown portion that I'll add to the beat when I lay it out. But here's how it sounds. I don't know why I'm put that in, but it sounds cool. Here is the beat, guys, and I'm just going to tell you the cool things that I did really quickly. So I started, and I used like the loaded bass at the beginning, and then also in this breakdown. But I start off with the first keys that you guys heard me play, along with some hi-hats, but you can't hear the hi-hats really, because what I do in the intro is I added this like filter right here, and then I did some automation, so it'll slowly bring this filter and open it up. And what this filter does is it just cuts out all of the low end initially, and then it slowly like builds it up, and so you can hear more and more of the high end, and then it just drops into the beat. And for like the chorus part right here, I ended up just using the chop because I felt it had like more energy and just sounded more like epic than the rest of the sounds in the beats. And the verse is where I kind of brought in that original sample right here, and it just kind of builds as it progresses. So it goes back into the 808s, and then towards the end I add that bell back. So I just added that. But yeah, here's the beat, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It's really, it's free. It's a free thing to do. If you don't want to watch me anymore, you can always unsubscribe. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any video recommendations or things you want to see, feel free to drop those in the comments down below. But yeah, enjoy this beats, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.